Okay. I think it's already recording. Oh my Lord. Okay. Welcome to the Box Truck Hustle, where we talk real work, real numbers, real experiences behind building box truck business. No gimmicks, no shortcuts, just practical lessons, proven strategies, and stories from people actually in the field. I'm Telly Arnold. I am with TLA Group. We have been in business for 2 years. I do everything in this business except drive the truck.
I am Sharif Brooks with TLA Group. I drive the truck. I have 26 years of driving experience, CDL. I've driven dry van, reefer, and flatbed, and now 2 years of box truck. So,
Hello, everyone. I'm Jaleesa Thomas, and I'm based in North Carolina. I run a logistics and moving company called D3 Delivery, and I'm excited to be here and grateful
Thank
for the
you.
invitation.
You are our first guest, so thank you for joining. I actually met Jaleesa on LinkedIn, Sharif. He's like,
okay.
"Where do you be meeting all these people?" And I just be like, "I be on every social media possible."
hmm
So we want to get right into it. The two
Okay.
hundred fifty thousand. So let's start with the headline. You made
Okay.
$250,000 in 1 year owning without owning a truck. What business model and what that made that possible?
Okay. So, what made that possible was this year I did three different services. So, I did appliance delivery, I did moving, and I also did government contracting. And with that gave me 45,000 of the revenue for this year off of just that one contract. And so, yeah, when I started the business, I knew that I started out renting a truck just so I can learn how the industry works and see if I wanted to stay in the industry myself. And being that I bootstrapped starting, like I had a $15,000 credit card. My mom gave me half of the insurance down payment.
Mm.
Just getting a truck note never made sense because once we got on the road, our margins were very slim. And I also knew that I wanted to be able to scale and grow my business and take my time back. So I knew that being an owner operator was not the way that I wanted to go. And so I came to the business model of subcontracting and logistics. And so what that allowed me to do is to manage the operations, to build the relationships, and to um, determine our capacity out there. And I learned most of the business development through the Future Rich Aunties community. And that really helped me with the back office part of the business. And so taking the not getting in a driver's seat and deciding to kind of build the back office,
Mm-hmm.
I created like a framework, and I now I help others kind of build their transportation company using the same type of model if they decide that they don't want to get in the truck themselves.
Gotcha.
Mm.
Gotcha. So what type of government contract did you have?
So I got DBE certified, which is a disadvantaged business enterprise through North Carolina Department of Transportation. And so with that, there's really no room for box trucks in DOT.
Mm-hmm.
So that means the next thing that I felt comfortable with was dump trucks. And again, being that I already built my main stream of income off of subcontracting, I knew that I could also subcontract this project out as well. So that's
Gotcha.
what I did.
Okay. So you subcontracted it. You subcontracted other drivers under the government contract.
Yep. So once I found out it was an opportunity, I started looking for dump truck owners, and I was like, "Hey, how much you gonna charge me to move this rock?" And at this time, and I took their price, and put like the coordination fee for me on top of it, and submitted it, and I won. So
Nice.
yeah.
Nice. I didn't get DBE. I was about to start
Uh-huh.
working on that. And then they put a pause on it in Houston.
Mhm.
Then they took it away, and they also took away Hub. So our
Wow.
business was Hub certified. They took away
Uh-huh.
Hub, and now is Hub is now for veterans. They took that away altogether.
Oh, wow. And here in North Carolina, we're still going full force with being able to take advantage of having the DBE certification and the Hub certification as well. The Hub certification is so powerful here in North Carolina that DOT created a position for a liaison between DOT and Hub transportation companies, and that really gives us a leg up to be able to get those first time opportunities to get into the DOT infrastructure.
Yeah, we don't have, we are WBE, MBE, and WOSB.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And I tell you a lot, it's about also where you are, like the Midwest, North
Mm-hmm.
Carolina, a lot of the opportunities are different, you know
Yep.
what I'm saying? So that's why we always rush to the Midwest
yeah,
when we're moving.
yeah. So, the other question I have is what made you decide not to buy equipment first, and what did you focus on instead?
Yep. So it when I got out there over the road for those few months, like I said, the margins were really slim, and I knew that even replacing the amount I was paying to rent with a truck payment, it just didn't make sense. And especially with me not being too sure if I wanted to stay in the industry as well. So what I decided to focus on was being intentional about really learning the back office. Learning how to find contracts to keep a box truck local as well. I focused on learning how to dispatch, pricing, cash flow, when we go get paid, how to float between getting paid, and just learning all the parts of business that you don't really know before you decide to just get into transportation. So,
Mhm.
like I said, I did all that last year. I just threw myself into business development, and all of the resources really came through that women's organization I'm a part of, the Future Rich Aunties.
Hmm. Where is Future Rich Aunties, just there, or is it here too?
It's based in Fayetteville. Most of our business development that we do is virtual though, so you don't have to be here to get access.
I will be Googling that when we're done.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
she
make sure
will.
you come see me if you do decide to join.
I will. I will. I'm gonna read up on it.
Yeah.
Okay, so then I have what systems, partnerships, or relationships were critical to make this work? I think you kind of mentioned it.
For me, uh, I'll tell anyone that gets into business that learning how to build relationships is so crucial. And I didn't know that before getting into business, but just having a friendly demeanor and getting to know people, asking them about themselves, man, they'll remember you and they'll be like, oh, I got an opportunity, or oh, you should do this. So that was the most crucial part, learning how to build relationships. So with me, most of my revenue came from appliance delivery, and so that means I had to build those relationships at the warehouses, and I did that by wanting to be. If it was 40 trucks at a warehouse, I wanted my trucks to be in the top 10. So that means I wanted us to always be high performing, getting there on time, and doing great customer service. And the warehouses really started to trust me because they saw that week after week we were delivering the results that they wanted. Um, and so with that, it came to a point where I was operating like 6 different trucks across the southeast, so in the Carolinas,
Mm-hmm.
Georgia, and Florida, and I was operating 3 different final mile contracts at the same time as well. So my job, if I'm not in the truck, my job was to stay on the phone and make sure that I keep those line of communications open. So even if my teams did get out there and mess up, they were like, "Oh, we know Jaleesa go fix that sooner or later."
Right.
And with that trust growing with the warehouses, I was able to put multiple trucks at a warehouse, and whenever they needed to like increase capacity, they would call me first. And so just being able to build that trust in the relationships that you do establish, that's going to be key.
So you had a corporate background, right?
Yeah, yeah. So
I
that
was,
helps as well, being able to do
yeah,
that corporate talk.
yeah. I was like, that's like big part of corporate America is building relationships, So a lot of what I learned from what I do day to day
Mhm.
collaboration, building
Yep.
partnerships, all of that stuff. And
Mhm.
appliance delivery, that is
Mhm.
like not our, we don't like it.
That's what I wanted to ask. Like, how was I the pay here in Houston was like 600 a day, if that, because it was all about the stops. And
Mhm.
sometimes you would start off with 13 stops, so much a stop, and then you wouldn't end up that during the route they would break down. So it was like we ran it for how long? What, a year and a half?
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
was like that profit margin, and we were good. We started off a little bumpy, but we ended up being excellent
Mhm.
far as delivery, claims and things
Yes.
like that. So it was crazy. It wasn't enough for the work we were putting
Mm-mm.
in. I was 6 days a week hitting
Yep.
it.
Yep. I know what you mean. I had some trucks running 7 days a week, so I had hired two teams for on that one truck. Um, And so, yeah, that's why I don't know how the one truck carriers are staying in business doing appliance delivery because it doesn't work. That's why I knew that when I subcontract, I had to subcontract a minimum of 6 trucks at a time just to make sure that you can turn a profit in the
Yeah.
business.
Mhm.
And so with you not owning a truck, anybody who ran under you, they were like subcontractors
Mhm.
with their own
Yep.
truck. And then
Yep.
all the money flowed through you and then you paid back out.
Mhm. Yep. That's
Gotcha.
how that works.
That's how that worked. Gotcha.
You almost were like a broker.
Yep. That's what I started. People started calling me that.
Yeah, 'cause that's what it sounds like. You distributing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I was the middleman.
You were the
Exactly.
middleman.
Middle woman.
Yeah.
Exactly. The middle woman.
Yeah.
So what's
Yes,
the
it is.
biggest mistake you see people making when they rush to buy a box truck?
Mm.
Cause I offer business consultation calls, and so the consultations that I have done with people that are curious about getting into transportation, they come to me after they've already bought a truck and they don't know their numbers, and that's the biggest mistake getting into transportation. Please do not get into transportation until you learn something about business because
Yeah.
it's gonna tear you up. Transportation is a very expensive industry.
Yeah.
And if I
Yeah.
knew that, I might have not had ended up here.
Yeah.
Because, man, you got to have some money rolling if you get into
She didn't want to
transportation.
listen to my club idea, but it's okay.
See,
That's neither
yeah,
here nor
that
there.
might have been better. We just focused on marketing if we went to the club. So,
Yeah.
yeah, they
Hey,
don't know their cost per mile, meaning they don't know um, how to calculate their insurance, how much they need to pay themselves to keep their bills, their lights on at home, how much they need to put aside for the truck, for the breakdowns. All of that needs to go into one number, and that's how you decide if you gonna move freight or not. But they end up buying that truck first and then reaching out, and I'm telling them like, do you know your numbers? Do you know what to move at? I'm like, this is not a smart way to run a business in transportation because it's going to eat you alive if you don't know. If you're out there taking freight, moving freight, and it's not at a profit, and so that truck becomes pressure to you more so than like an opportunity or freedom, which is why we get into business.
I think a
mhm.
lot of people are looking at those influencers and seeing the money, but don't understand the background behind it, right? Because it's not necessarily that I looked at influencers' money.
Mhm.
We were going to do semi. And
Okay.
then because he was actually in the semi truck at the time we were looking at starting it. So we were taking his numbers and we were like, ooh, that's not a lot of money.
Mhm.
And so then I saw this lady on TikTok talking about how you could rent a truck. And I was like, well, we could rent a truck and not really have a commitment.
Mhm.
But when we rented the truck, it was like, she said, as soon as your MC becomes active, you'll be able to start booking loads. So we renting this truck. We're paying
Mhm.
$900 a week.
Yep.
No broker wants to work with us. And so I'm like, you gave me some old information.
Yeah.
Because I kept telling her, I'm like, well, they're saying it's $900 a week. She was like, really? I was like, yes. And then
Mhm.
she would give me all these different names of different companies to go to. And I was like, well, they're saying your MC got to be 180 days or 90 days or this. And she was like, really? I'm like, this information is old.
Yeah. Yep. That's how I got into box trucks too. Ended up on YouTube, seeing all them box truck boys out there, seeing the big money supposedly and stuff like that. And so I went down the rabbit hole myself. But at the time, we actually filed the LLC in 2021. But for 2 years, I couldn't move because everybody had a truck. Enterprise ain't had no trucks. They had wait lists, long wait lists if you wanted to rent from them and then about 2023, I guess everybody just got out the game,
And
and
that's
they
when we
actually
came
had
in. And that's when
Well,
we
they
that's what
came
we
in.
came in.
they had some
Stressed
trucks to
out.
rent then.
Yeah, we came
Jaleesa,
in.
I want to ask you a question. So, do you feel like we've been hearing rumors about how next year is supposed to be the upcoming of the business instead of the depression we've been going through? Things supposed to turn around. Do you feel that way, or is it just rumor to you?
And when you say that, do you mean for y'all's business personally or just the
Oh, I forgot. I
industry?
The
am talking to the
industry.
broker, the
Uh,
industry. Well, our end, because that he did say that this has been a broker's
mm-hmm.
Industry.
industry these last 2 3 years, and now it's going to turn back to the carrier.
Hmm. Now, being that, like I said, my primary source of revenue was appliance delivery, I cannot say
Gotcha, gotcha.
that
I
is true.
understand that.
I did OTR probably for the first 3 months, and like you said, that MC was not. Nobody wanted to give you a chance to take a load. We ended up taking a load because he misread our MC number, but we still took that load. Sorry, it's already on the truck now. Yep. So we did OTR for 3 months, and then I was like, it got to be something else. I was again doing all those research and all those trucking groups, and I saw people talking about staying local, how to stay local. You need to go get contracts, and then that's when I started looking for contracts that allowed us to stay local.
Like contracts other than like furniture and appliance. Like if I could find anything but that. The stress. How was you
Yes.
stressed with the claims?
It was hard because I ran my own 3 teams at one time, and then I was subcontracting as well. So with my teams, the stress was hard with that. But being that I'm running 1099, I was like, y'all break something, you got to pay for it. But that caused
Yeah.
my turnover rate to be high
I was
because
just about to ask
they
that.
didn't want that. So I had to get back into business and figure out how to vet employees, how to
Mm,
create those documentations needed that they got to sign before they start working with me, and how to interview to the point where I can get people that's not going to get on the truck and break stuff. So I really learned that summer of 24,
Mm-hmm.
how to do that. So I set up a whole system of how to, you know, from the from the ad all the way to when they sign the paperwork and get on the truck. I set all of that up. So was able to start hiring people that actually cared about what they were doing, because nobody wants to go home at the end of the week with $0 in their pocket because they dinged up a $2,500 refrigerator.
Exactly. Exactly.
so what
We
they?
were like parallel because we were working the Lowe's contract at the same time too.
Mhm.
And the
Yes.
rotation, we could not. We kept a driver because he was driving, and
Huh?
his son was also in the truck. But
Uh-huh.
it began to be too much because some of the appliances were so heavy. So we
Mhm.
had to start hiring additional people, and that's when the heavy rotation came. I was like, "Oh, this is ridiculous."
Yep.
I just said,
Yep.
see, my son was fresh out of high school.
Uh-huh.
And he was fresh out, so he was, and I remember this one to give, since we're not in it anymore, I can tell the truth. You wouldn't want to hear this, but I wasn't thinking. I had him at the bottom of one of the refrigerators, and we
Mhm.
had the little strap thing, and we get up,
Mhm.
and it went up, and I swear to God, it was like nobody was back there. They
Yep.
just,
You you know
and to
that
see a refrigerator tip.
It
that
broke.
bottom position is ooh.
Did
Hmm.
it
Oh,
break?
so no, no, that's the one that didn't. And that's the one they didn't give us a claim for. And we have a refrigerator here right now. And I said, I didn't do this. They gave us this claim, but I didn't do that. But we wasn't. That was in the beginning where I was more about getting it there. And then I forgot about pictures and stuff. But that was in
Mhm.
the beginning and everything. So I got the hang of it, got used to it, got to the point to where I was training and everything. I was white collar trained and I mean
Mhm.
white glove
Mhm.
trained and it just pretty the next thing you know, it only made sense and it really didn't make sense then during Black Friday, the holidays. But
Mhm.
any other time we was hoping we were getting a load. The next day we wouldn't get a
Oh
load. We
wow.
was working 3 days a week, 4 days a week.
What?
So it wasn't consistent. It
Mm-mm.
wasn't. That was the maximum. And see how she acting? That's why I said regions.
Yes, because
You
North
know.
Carolina and South Carolina, they will work you 8 days a week.
Exactly.
The capacity is there.
Exactly.
You
But
got to
I
But they
tell
think
wasn't
they
them.
had
telling.
their favorites where we were at. I think they
Okay,
had their
that
favorites.
that's true as well. Some of those 3PLs
Yeah, we were
they
only
don't
black
operate like they
company
should.
We
there.
were the only
We were
black
the only
ones there.
black company. We the only one.
Mm. Oh wow. What
The
other demographic
Hispanic
was there?
Mexicans.
Oh okay.
Hispanic, yeah.
Yeah.
Ours was pretty much 80% black and
Oh,
20% um Hispanic.
that's why I
Really?
like the culture. Because there's more blacks out there. Hey, I listen. You can. I feel us when I get out the truck. I can feel us. I'm like, it's a lot.
Mhm.
It's a lot of. They so well. You know what I mean? But North Carolina is one of them. Now I hate going back roads.
Mhm.
I only
Yes.
in an 18 wheeler. I never wanted to deliver it. I didn't recognize the city just off the rip. I declined it because
Mhm.
if it didn't say Raleigh,
Mhm.
Charlotte, or something around there, that means it was a small town in one of the mountains.
Yep.
Not this. Not him. Not me.
Yep. I had a contract in the
I'm still
mountains.
cleaning undergarments for making deliveries up there in the mountains. I'm telling you.
Mhm. It ain't no joke. Yep.
No.
But yeah, appliance delivery, you really have to have systems set up. But you don't know it going in. You learning it first, but then you got to come back, and I pretty much set up a system to be able to when I bring on the subcontractors, like you got to go through um, handbook training. You got to get on calls with me, and then I also made my brother into a trainer, and I would send him to get on the trucks, and
Oh
that way they
yeah.
can get the hands-on experience as well. I had a whole system to
Yeah.
where I can help the subcontractors be profitable in this business as well because claims is the way you get out of the business.
Exactly.
So,
Mm.
so yeah.
Exactly.
We should have moved out there, woman, because you know we had it down. Time I was delivering, I was taking doors off refrigerators, and I
Mhm.
hated that. I
Yes.
hated
I
that
got so many
because
calls from that. Please take that door off and get that refrigerator in there. What can we do?
Miss Thomas, the first day, first delivery, take that door off. I was like,
Yep.
I reported at 5 in the morning. We didn't get home to 12. We didn't
Mhm.
walk in the door to 12 midnight. I
Mhm.
was so I was so disheartened. I walked in like I don't know what we gonna do.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm not
Yeah.
going tomorrow.
Hey,
Mhm.
it was hey, that was something else. But we
Yep.
learned.
Oh yeah. Whenever I sometimes when I got subcontractors, they had already tried it themselves, and I was like, "Well, how did your first week go?" They was like, "We was out there for 12 hours." I said, you got to come on board with us, and we'll get you where you gonna have your 8 hours, maybe 10 at a max, but yeah, 'cause that'll burn you
Y'all
out so
had
quick."
that much work to where you could see, and that was another thing. We couldn't keep the good ones. Why? Because they couldn't work every day. We didn't know we couldn't guarantee you 5 days and say we was gonna pay you
Yeah.
Yeah.
this.
Mhm.
You
Because
know what I'm saying? It
if you
was
got a
hard to
bad
keep.
survey, they called you off.
Oh no, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. You get a bad
Okay.
survey, they call you off the next day.
I think I did remember that. But they did about a week. They did what your score was at the end of the week determine how you work next week. But again, with the capacity that those warehouses had, they didn't have too much choice to have people off.
Exactly. I was
But
just gonna
again,
say.
that's where the building the relationships. I made sure I visited I visited the warehouses in the Carolinas so they can see my face. And that, like I said, building relationships in business is everything because I made that personal contact with them, and I think that gave me an edge where my truck wasn't the one that was sitting. You know,
Mm, yeah. You let
So
them
you're
come in and smell that perfume. That's what it is. Let them come in and
I
smell.
get that a lot. It was
You
like,
see? Them trucks. Them trucks right there. Yeah, she was smelling good. Go ahead and call them. That's what happened.
They be like, "Where is your husband?" I said, "What husband? This is my company."
Oh
You was waiting for
yeah.
that question, huh?
Uh-huh. Do a little flex.
Yeah, exactly. What? Husband?
So are you
At home
gonna
cooking? You should have lied. Cooking at home?
Now, I had to just given my perspective of being a woman in this industry. I've had to get my brother on some men and my partners on some men, and it was like what I was saying they wasn't getting through, but they said the exact same thing to them, and all of a sudden they heard them, and I was like, man, if it's gonna be like this in this industry, I don't want to be here. But then I said, nope. That's when I changed how I vetted who I brought on. Like, you gotta respect women if you're gonna work over here with me, because you got to listen.
So have you had to ask? Is it gonna be a problem? You working for me?
Yeah.
Get real
How
blunt
do you
with
feel
them.
about taking directions from a woman is what I ask.
Exactly.
Because, baby, I'm going to
Exactly.
tell you something and I'm going to get off that phone and go on back to what I was doing.
And I'm gonna expect you to do it. And see, I've been having problems vice versa,
Huh?
because when we were doing well, we was getting ready to hire drivers. So I said, you know what, I want to hire some women drivers.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So
Ah.
I got them in there, the first two people, the first one, it was hard. I hired two guys,
Mm-hmm.
and they lied about knowing how to drive a box truck. They would get in the truck and just as nervous. I said, I'm looking at him like, oh God. We ain't even got on the feeder yet.
Okay.
You shaking. So, but one was young
Mm-hmm.
and one you couldn't tell them nothing to. They knew it all. I've been driving a while, so I know about the little stuff,
Yeah.
and I know where to go, so things can get the driving can be better.
Mm-hmm.
So she didn't want to listen, but I'd rather hear. I know me with men.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to. I have patience with a woman. If
Yeah.
you run your mouth, I can be like, okay. A
Uh-huh.
man, I'll be real strict. Hold on.
Right.
So I was patient with them, but I had to let them go though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were costing us too much money. The
Oh, yeah.
consistency. The consistency. When you have
Mm-hmm.
somebody over the road, you need them gone.
Yes, you got
You
to stay
can't
out there.
leave on Friday and then Monday, I want to come back home.
Mm-mm.
Exactly.
Nope.
So we calmed down, and now I'm in the truck, and I tell her, I say, well, it's all about consistency of the loads coming in. So I
Mm-hmm.
try to do 2 to 3 months out there. And
Oh, okay.
I come in, but I'm coming in to get my hair done and leave it right back out or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I try to, and I told her, I said, I'm gonna really live in this truck all next year.
Okay.
And that way we can see some profit and
Mm-hmm.
then we can make decisions. And just like you're doing, I need to do better, and you guys are alike in some ways because like you said, the marketing and everything. And I
Yes.
need to I want to start my dispatching too. Cause just like
Mm-hmm.
you said, I know I'm good at
Yep.
dispatching because I'm a driver. I've been driving forever.
Mm-hmm.
So I know what a driver is looking for. And I know driver morale is very important. So
Yes.
I need to, start doing my commercial stuff on my
Mm-hmm.
social media and things like that. So I
Yep.
need to get better.
Yeah, but your y'all's focus is great for next year. You got to have that money there first before you can make those type of business decisions, because you got to move yourself out of that hustle mode and to in order to be in a business mode and
Yeah.
be
Got
able
you. I
to,
understand that.
yeah, to be able to work on your business instead of in your business. But you do have to ground it out at first. You have
You
to.
do have to grind it out. It's not trucking is not get rich quick.
Mm-mm.
I don't know how it used to be years ago. I don't know because
Hmm.
these profit margins are
Yeah,
at
you
none.
blink and
Yeah, they're
you gone.
No.
gone. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
like I would love to scale to another truck, but it's like
Mhm.
if I had another him, it would be a no-brainer because I know that person would get out there, hustle and grind it out. But then you get another truck, if you ain't got nobody in there moving it, that's a liability to you.
Mhm. Yep,
So
that's real. I hear that so much when I hear like owner operators that want to get out of the truck, or they want to buy a second truck and somebody else to drive it. They are kind of hesitant because they get burned with the people that do get in their trucks. But I really think that if we learn how to recruit, think I think that helps us be able to scale our business.
yeah,
But that's a skill you have to learn, or you pay someone to do that for you.
the temp service, the driver temp services and
Yeah,
things
it's
like
it's
that.
some out there specifically just for transportation.
Well, I'm
Yeah,
about to create a platform for that for box truck.
Oh,
It's already in
okay.
the making. I'm already working on it.
I'm gonna connect you with someone. I met this guy when I went to Miami to the NMSDC conference. He does it. He has that a database of drivers. That's what he does. Pretty much a
mm,
temp agency, employment agency for transportation. So, maybe we can,
look at you, look at you.
make some connections that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said, you where I want to be. So I look at you and you got gold dust all around you. You know what I'm saying? Because you look all comfortable and stuff. Like you've been working, but you've been working from there. And that's what I was,
Yes, working from
yeah,
here.
that's my goal. Because
That's
this is
right.
what I tell her.
Mhm.
This is, it's a passion for me because this is my 401k. You understand what I'm saying? I'm 49, so I don't want to be. It's so many sad faces out there over that road, guys with no more kids to take care of. And now, hey, I live in my truck now. I do this forever. You get what I'm trying to say?
Mhm.
And that will not be me.
No, sir.
That will not be me. So,
Mm-mm. There's more to life than that. We became entrepreneurs for our freedom and to be able
exactly.
to own our own time. Nobody has to tell us like our time,
Exactly.
what to do with
I
our
get it.
time. We determine what we want to do with our time.
I think for me, what I
Freedom.
learned that the profit margins were not none and
Mhm.
non-existent. I started thinking about what else could I do in this industry, which is one, create the podcast, and then two, create a platform, and then he's going to work on his dispatching. So I'm thinking like what can help with that to go along with it. Because I mean the stress
Mhm.
of having somebody in that truck other than him is high. It's very
Oh
high.
yeah, I remember. If it wasn't last summer, it was the summer before. It had to be 2024 when I said all of a sudden I was gonna put 3 trucks at a warehouse and run 3 teams myself. I know. I said I might as well have been in the truck because I sat in one place for 12 hours until they got back to that warehouse. I
Mm,
couldn't move. I was just frozen with anxiety. Like, are y'all gonna break something that you just broke something
Uh,
yesterday?
um,
yeah,
Whew.
that
yeah. So I got to
anxiety.
look at y'all position too, because that's one thing about our business relationship. I try to make sure, because I know my stress
Mhm.
and her stresses are different
Yep.
while we're out there. I have more of a feeling stress, and your emotions got to be right out there over the road,
Mhm.
especially when it's your business, because you every day, some weeks you're not gonna get paid as a
Yep.
driver, as an
Mhm.
owner operator and driver. You get what I'm
Yes.
saying? So
Yep.
that's one of the perks of me being out there trying to repair us and
Mhm.
keeping us going.
Yes.
And you got to have the mental for it. So
Mhm.
I was built for it.
Yep.
Well,
We were.
whenever I don't have to go into my bank account to fund it, like
Is a win.
it's a win. Like this week when he
For
came
all of us.
in, we had to put the truck in the shop for like just routine maintenance.
Mhm.
And so I'm counting our money. I'm like, okay, we break our truck note out weekly. I break it out weekly. It's just easier. And then the insurance was coming out, the fuel was coming out. So I saw the fuel come out, saw the 350 for the truck note that week, and then I was like, the insurance, we gonna make it. I didn't have to
Mhm.
fund it. So I was like, all
Yes.
right. So
Yes. Don't that feel good?
yeah, it was a blessing. So I'm just like, every time he comes in, I'm like, okay, so when he goes back out, I always tell him, if you come in towards the 26th of the month, just know
Mhm.
I need the insurance paid, $1,400.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
it's
That's
best
right.
to come in around the first or the end of the month, right?
Yeah, it's best to come in around that time. Or
Mhm.
or maybe
Gotcha.
more around the 15th of the month. Because that seems to be where the least amount is due. Like the middle of the
Gotcha.
month. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I also want to say, as far as like being able to fund your business, I know I started late with learning how to build business credit so that I have something to float us as well. So I think one thing people that are getting into transportation needs to do is really take that business side seriously, so that you can give yourself an opportunity to be a long-term type business. Because building that business credit and getting access to funding, knowing where to look for funding at, knowing that there are grants out there that you can have for your business, all of that stuff starts to add up, and it helps when you don't have loads to take that week.
Yes,
You know,
ma'am.
so.
Because I'm getting paid a grant $3,000 in another week.
Yes, ma'am. That's great. Congrats.
Yeah, and I got a line of credit from Frost Bank.
Yes, that is
So when
amazing.
I tell people grants are out there, you
Mhm.
have to dedicate the time to do it.
Yep. And then another hidden gem that people don't know of is like make sure you keep your books up because QuickBooks will offer you a line of credit as
Credit.
well because they sitting
Mm-hmm.
there watching your books all day. So
I got a
you know,
bookkeeper. I can't even. I I can.
I have did it all. When I say I'm a solopreneur, turning
Solopreneur.
I
yes,
did.
turning
I
out. I'm
but
getting away
see,
from it, but I
I
did it
work
all.
full time. So by the time
Yes.
I got off,
Mhm.
I just started auto accepting everything. And
Mhm.
baby, when I say it categorized everything wrong,
Yes. Oh
so
no.
in 2025, I think you know niche Black Business Boom. Do you know them?
Mm-mm.
Okay, I seen you comment Nisha Mohip or something like that. Okay.
Oh yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So I did her Black Business Boom and they cleaned our books in 2025. So, no, yeah, 2025. And then around April or May of this year, I hired a bookkeeper and
That's amazing. That's
she
a
does our books. I don't even have to stress.
yep.
They're
Mhm.
clean. When I get ready to do my taxes, I'm not waiting until umpteenth hour getting my books clean. They're already ready to go.
Yep. That's real. I know I like to when I bring people in, I be wanting them to make sure that they do get access to that business credit and funding so that you can not have all that stress like we had starting out in the business because we're doing everything ourselves. You can be able to um, do it correctly and avoid mistakes and also have some funding to get you some help out there as well.
Yeah. Tell them about the grants, pitch competitions. The
Mhm.
money's there. You just
Yep.
it's they just have to understand you're gonna get a lot of no's and it's a consistent thing like looking for a job.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. But it gets to a point where uh, you look for so much, you become pretty credible with it, and you're able to tell other people where to go look at. Because I remember when we first talked, you were able to direct me with some places to look for funding that I didn't even know about. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I like to
People
do
don't be
that for
listening. People
people
don't
as
be
well.
listening. People don't
I
be
do.
listening.
I do. I do. Because I be wanting to get all the knowledge I can so I can share it with the others because I know a lot of people do come to me when they think about getting into transportation.
Gotcha.
So,
So
yeah.
if someone is listening right now and feels stuck because they don't have money for a truck, what would you tell them?
I would tell them that they are not stuck. I would tell them that they are early. Use this time to go to YouTube University, learn as much as you can about the business and what you can do with the box truck, particularly. Um, Take that time and do all of that. Learn business side and then learn business specific to transportation as well. And then get even more granular with learning business as it relates to a box truck. Because what you want is you want to have a clear head and you want to have a sense of what it would take for you to be profitable when you get into transportation. So this is a great time to do that so you can get that clarity before you get out there and buy that truck. And one other thing I do is I help people look at their numbers and say like, does it even make sense for you to try to get a truck? Do you even have the money to get a truck? When you put that $5,000 to $8,000 down on that truck, what you got left to get out there on that road?
Exactly.
It's best to just take that time and really get that clarity and see which way to move before you even get into the business.
Yeah, that was something we talked about on one show, which is how much do we feel you should start with? Because we started out
Mhm.
with like 30
Mhm.
30,000. Rent a truck, we flew through that 20. I didn't know $20,000 could be spent so
Nope.
fast.
You don't know how
Man,
much money. That's what I said. I said what? Even with my money this way, I said what?
I
All that
thought
money
you was
came through
running
my
the
accounts.
ball.
Like Okay.
Right. What other business you got going? That 20 went fast, boy.
Yep. Mhm.
That's why I was like, the one advice I would give somebody is partner with somebody you could trust and run under their authority.
Mhm.
You can
I
trust.
really, I really, if I, that would be the one thing that I would do differently because we were ready to go. As soon as that MC became active, we
Mhm.
were ready. If we would have been running day one, we wouldn't have flew through that money so quickly. We wouldn't have. And I think I would have went on ahead and financed my truck. I ain't lying.
Mhm.
I think I would have financed it, or if I had a dependable truck, I could have bought cash. That too.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we're not
That's.
going to talk about that. My beard was black then. It was black.
Really.
Jet black. 2 years ago. Look at it now.
It was
Right.
more
Okay.
ombre 2 years ago. Because it always
Yeah.
had gray.
especially that Lowe's account. Lord, all this came in.
Mhm.
All that
Oh
Lowe's.
yeah. They'll run you
Oh,
crazy.
I'm
Yep.
serious. Learning where to park, trees,
Yep.
trying to train people. Okay,
We.
I need y'all to smile. Listen, I need y'all to have morning faces. Morning faces.
Uh-huh.
Listen, you can't walk up in white folk house with that face. I need you to comb your hair, man. We can't
That
walk
was,
in there.
and you know who he was
We ain't
talking
really,
about? My
you know.
son.
All
Mhm.
right, then I'm
Oh,
gonna need you
okay.
to. You can't have no morning face. Like I don't want to be
Right.
here. You gonna
Mm-mm.
scare white folks?
Yep.
Mm-mm. Can't do that.
But, yeah, we done took out. We
Thank
done had
God.
some stories out there in them trucks, boy. We done took out
Yeah.
power in neighborhoods. I'm like, they call the warehouse and be like, your Lowe's truck just snapped that power line and now we ain't got power. We got some stories out there, but that comes from again putting people on the road that don't know how to drive a box truck, don't even
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
what height they're
Ain't
at
Yeah.
even looking
and what
about
they can
height.
hit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Our story was horrible. If Sharif ever would have called me and told me we didn't put the lights out, I would have been like, you know what?
Let me tell you what I did. Let me tell you what I did. Now, I, one of those 3-story, them new 3-story houses they building
Mhm.
in on Third Ward out here. So I deliver the washing machine. I forgot to put the. I put the thing, the clamp on the hose
Mhm.
of the water that come out. So next thing you know, I'm getting a call. Telly called me, said y'all need to go back because water is leaking from that second floor.
Mhm.
Lord, I get back, everything to the side, So we what got us out of that, because it looked fishy from the front. Because I said, y'all been back here. We've been back here. I didn't leave the washing machine, but I didn't. I only took certain pictures. I should
Mhm.
have took a picture of the clamp
Mhm.
of the
Yep, you
thing, but
got
after
to.
we was green, I didn't take a
Yeah.
picture of the clamp. So we ended up paying for the dry to dry everything out and everything. They wanted so much more. They wanted steak dinners at 9 p.m. every night and all this other stuff, just extra stuff. So what happened, Taylor? They ended up letting it
So
go.
what happened was, like he said, we dried it out. We pretty much pulled up her floors in the areas that was affected. I had a water restoration company go out there. So the guy who was the water restoration, when it came time to do the repairs, they wanted a complete remodel. And
Mm.
he's telling them TLA Group is only responsible for the areas they damaged.
Mhm.
And long story short, um, they ended up going through their own insurance, and then they went back to the contractor company. And when we got ready to shift between the two contractor companies, they took all of our money
Mhm.
and paid it to them people. And
Wow.
then yeah, yeah, because they wrote a long letter and saying that we did what we were supposed to do.
Mhm.
Now, the contractor company, they replaced the washing machine because they didn't know if it was defective or whatever.
Mhm.
But after that, I'm assuming their insurance company took care of everything.
And
Yeah.
I really do feel like we could have fought if we weren't worrying about bringing in revenue
Mhm.
after that. But because they just, anything that make them happy. But I bet we could have fought that for them taking that
Yeah,
money.
they took it
Ready
was
to.
like close to $5,000 that they took of our money. We lost it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, I've been there before. I actually replaced a couple of floors. A couple of floors, yes. Insurance claims, but like I said, I got to the point where that's when I started leaning into my skills and figuring out how we can eliminate all this happening. So I was like, my brother has got to start training folks. We got to have folks. We got to tell folks this information about 3 times before they get on the truck, and then we also have to find a way to hold them liable and
Accountable.
stuff like that. Yeah. Um, yeah. So
And we
any
told Riverside that. I said, well, y'all don't train, y'all just throw people out
yeah, it's 1090.
into it.
So yeah, you get out there and
Yeah, yeah. We saying
supposedly
we can
mean you
do
can
it,
do
go
it.
do it.
Yeah.
Huh?
But yeah, I've made it
They,
pretty much foolproof now out there.
so as we're about to wrap up the podcast, is there anything else you would like to share with our listeners?
Yeah. So if anyone's listening and they want to, you know, get some clarity with what numbers should look like to be profitable in transportation before they start, or work with me or get any more information about anything I've said today, they can text the word numbers to 910-698-8266, and I can get them that information directly.
All righty. So this is the end of our podcast. I thank you so much for joining, and feel free to let me know if you ever want to come back again, because we record every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time.
And listen,
Yes.
I wanna give you much props for doing what you're doing because to be honest, I envy you. That's what I want to do. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna be watching you.
Let me look. I can teach you the sauce. There's no problem. I can. I told you
Exactly.
I done made
I
so many
tell her all the
mistakes. I
time
know how
I
to
would
do it
love
right
to walk
now.
around with a polo shirt and slacks and a briefcase,
Mhm.
with paperwork in it. That's
Yep.
my dream.
Yep.
So,
That's my
you know,
favorite part. Sitting in those
okay,
rooms,
exactly.
making those,
So
getting
I'm gonna
those
be getting in touch
relationships.
with you.
He's
I would
Exactly.
have.
on
I really.
LinkedIn. He's on
Okay.
LinkedIn. Sharif
Okay.
Brooks.
Yep.
He's on
Okay.
there,
I
and you
found
can
find
find
you.
him on Facebook as well too.
Okay.
Where else
And
you
for
on, Sharif?
And TikTok, shy_brooks on TikTok. I do you see all my professional deliveries there. So, you know,
Yeah.
I try to document all my deliveries, let them know how I deliver, and it's with care and love. All the package.
yeah, you need that proof.
Exactly. That we out here doing it.
That we're
Yeah.
Exactly.
really real.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Mm,
Okay, well,
yeah.
thank you so much. Like I said, anytime you want to come back, we record every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Yes,
Righty.
indeed.
Thank
Appreciate it.
you.
You're
Okay.
welcome.
I
Okay.
appreciate you.
Bye.
Bye. Wow, struggle.